What is up, everybody? Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic Saturday here, guys. And let's get right to it. Lex, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the man, the myth, the man
Yep.
without fear, Daredevil.
Yeah. Daredevil, guys. Let's get right to it. Daredevil Born Again Season 1 is finally here. It took forever. We're going to talk about, we're getting nitty gritty. We're talking about spoilers. Let's go. Hope you stay for the whole stream, guys. And if not, listen to us on our podcast platform. Let's get this show going. Let's go. Two marker. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I am your host, Ryan D, aka the Ryan 680.
And this is Lex, back at it again, guys.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday to every single one of you guys, every single Movie Talk fan out there. And thank you for starting the conversation with us. Thank you for continuing to follow us on our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and everything. And trust me, guys, I know right now it's like movies are just TV's killing it right now. But speaking of TV right now, there's a few really good TV shows that are just coming out right now. Of course, we got from Max all the way to Disney Plus, which we are going to talk about right now. Righteous Gemstones is happening very very soon. This actually starts tomorrow. Their last season 3, final season. I'm so excited for. Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited for that show. And right now, White Lotus is happening on Max. Currently, I know Yellow Jackets is happening too. I'm not watching that. Are you watching that, Lex?
No. I did want to give a shout out to Paradise on Hulu.
Yes.
That has been such a blast. My wife and I are hooked.
How is it?
It's great. It's so hooking. I'm glad that so now the season's over. First season.
Oh, okay. So it is okay.
But the like I'm glad that we're binging it because the cliffhangers of each episode is pretty hardcore. So like I'm glad that we can like just go into the next episode and things like that. I wish there was a thing with Daredevil, but at the same time, it creates a lot of conversation week to week. I am happy that it was 2 episodes, and I'm happy that they're an hour long. I actually thought because it was a Disney Plus show that it might have gone down to episodes of like 30, maybe 40 minutes. So I was happy to see that they're like an hour long or 50 something minutes and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I got you, man. See, and that's the thing too, is Paradise. I know we've been talking about it on back and forth off camera, and so I'm happy. I'm excited because you get me more excited for that show. So I'm very much
you're gonna love it.
I love that actor too. So yeah,
James Marsden, like. He no disrespect to Kyle Chandler, but James Marsden would have been a great Green Lantern. He was fan cast for a long time. I don't think he was done great justice as Scott Summers all the time.
Yeah,
but a Green Lantern, man, like he would have absolutely.
He could have done it. No, okay,
great show. Tune in, guys, if you guys haven't seen it. It's on Hulu once again. Here we are. Talking about the man without fear, right?
It took 6.5 years, guys. Moviegoers out there, fans, fandom, Marvel fans, DC fans, it doesn't matter. We like to say, oh, well, I'm from a DC, whatever. We're not going to start that argument here, but I'm just telling you right now, superhero fans, comic book fans, I can't believe it took 6.5 years for this show to, and I had to fact check it because there were some sources that were saying that right before the release date, right on Monday, or I think Monday or Sunday, where reviews started coming out, reactions started coming out, and I was just like, 6.5 years, is that accurate? Looked it up. I was like, holy, it's been 6.5 years. I think it's around 6.5 to closer to 7 years. But dude, for this long of a show, this long, I mean, granted, COVID and everything, all that stuff. Besides that, though, I'm gonna spill the tea a little bit. We knew that they filmed a whole season of Born Again, but it was very, very different than what other filmmakers were telling us. Like, it was very, very different from what we got out of this show, out of this season. More court thing. It wasn't as violent as they wanted it to be, and so I was kind of happy that they canned it. Sucks they threw away all that money, million X amount of money to really film, and they filmed, the actors filmed all that, then they went back and filmed it again. So it was very interesting to see how usually when movies and everything, how especially films, World War Z is a movie that I could think in my head, because it's a movie that really went back to the drawing table, if you must, and went back to like rewrite the whole film, pretty much reshot the whole movie. everything was changed about that movie, and it ended up being a good, decent film. I really enjoy World War Z. I really do. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed that movie, and I was just kind of curious to see what was the first adaptation, or the first unedited, or however you want to call it, the
Yeah, like the
first,
version.
yeah, the first version. Hopefully, it wasn't as bad as the Powerpuff Girls, as everyone has been seeing
Oh
that
no.
trailer. God, how can CW do that? It's the CW, like, it just, we're talking about TV shows right now, so I know I keep shifting the conversation, but how can CW, a show that made Smallville, a show that that's really just
I mean,
made Supergirl, like, it just, how can you make a ridiculous show like that and think it's okay? Like, I don't know, whatever. But anyways, I'm not gonna go on that rant, but let's get right to it, guys. This is Daredevil Born Again, season one, and season one, episode 1 and 2, guys. And I want to give you a brief just title. So episode 1's called Heaven's Half Hour, and then episode 2 is Optics, and we kind of get a sense of that too, more so on this. They say it a few times, actually. I thought it was kind of like, at first I was like, okay, and then they said it, I think, I want to say 3 times or 4 times. I noticed that, and I was just like, oh, what's this episode title? I was like, oh yeah, I remember they said that, but it's because of the campaign standpoint, or like being the mayor. But anyways, let's get right to it. Lex, what did you think of episode 1 and 2 of Daredevil Born Again? Did it meet your expectations? CGI, cinematography, what did you think of this movie? Did Charlie Cox really take on the role again as triumphant as he did in the Netflix series? What did you think of this movie, this series and everything?
Yeah, no, I think this was a very strong opener, and strong in the sense of a lot of us feared, right, that
Yeah.
perhaps the show, given that it has a new parent, essentially, a lot of us fear that the show wouldn't have the same DNA as what we saw from Netflix. And like you said, with the drama behind the scenes and things like that, it seems like initially it wasn't going to be the case. But perhaps Kevin Feige saw the writing on the wall as far as like, hey, this feels too different. Doesn't seem to share the same DNA. Let's go back to the drawing board. And like you said, that deep in development, that was kind of crazy to do.
Mhm.
Initially, I know that they kind of were going to omit a lot of the important parts of the Marvel one, with not bringing Karen and Foggy back, and we'll talk a bit more about that. But as you can see, they were going in a direction that perhaps wasn't going to sit well with fans. So a lot of us were just already scared, right? Like, even just kind of like a full rewrite, that's kind of scary, right? Like,
Yeah.
did they course correct correctly and things like that? I'll say, you know what? I was pleasantly surprised with these first 2 episodes. The show does seem to be, of course, it's in a different. It's got a different feel in the sense that a lot of these characters have grown up in different
Mhm.
ways. We're introduced to them at a later stage from what we remembered from the Netflix series.
Yeah.
But a lot of the show still felt pretty much Daredevil. A lot of the themes were there. I love the new character dynamics that they're kind of teasing here. I do have to say, like, in some of the, without getting into spoilers, the opening sequence, the one thing that did worry me a little bit was there was a little bit of an overuse of CGI in some of the hand-to-hand combat,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I feel like
Mhm.
that is a little bit of a deviation from what we're used to with the Marvel Daredevil series. The
Mhm.
hand-to-hand combat was always excellently choreographed,
Clean,
and
clean. Yeah.
to the point where you didn't need CGI. And there was either, it might have still been them, but like it felt choppy in the sense of CGI ness, and they kind of did this scene with some smoke and things like that. That got me a little worried, but the
Okay.
rest of it, the drama, the dialogue, I think it's still holding very strong. I'm excited to see the next big like
Mhm.
sequence of fighting, to see if they're going to keep doing that, or if it just happened to be that first introduction that they wanted to do that. So
Okay. Okay. This when that very first scene, I mean, it hits the ground running. It really does.
yeah,
It
yeah,
has a
they did
very
a good job
dramatic
in that.
turn of events, and we'll talk about that very shortly. But I gotta say, this show I didn't expect it to be this good. I'm not gonna lie. I was just
Yep.
like, okay, well, if it's okay, if it's halfway there, okay, cool. I know a lot of people are like, this isn't as good as the Netflix show, and I would agree, but to a certain degree, I would agree to that. But at the same time, though, The only thing I could probably take away is of what you already mentioned was the hand-to-hand combat. The very first episode we got, I felt like it was very pixelated and it was very CGI-ish, and it looked kind of different. I don't know if they were trying to go for his powers in a sense or something like that. It just looked very complicated. I don't know if that was the intention. For me, that in my mind, I was like, maybe that might be the. I was very optimistic about it. I was like, okay, whatever. Then we got episode 2, and we saw a little bit more the hand-to-hand combat, which was way better in my opinion. And I was like, okay, maybe it gets better later on. Maybe they were like, it got better. And so, but it definitely sucks because it definitely did not feel that's a little tad bit did not feel that same momentum as we got from the Netflix show. But regardless though, like it could have been, this could have been a lot worse. That's all I'm saying. And so
No,
I still
yeah,
appreciate, I
and
appreciate
that
it.
was
And
just
that's,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, and that was just from a first standpoint, right? Like going
Yeah.
into the show already worried, and then that's some of the first things you see. The scene and the scope of it was still very cool. It
Mhm.
was it was just like, are they gonna try to go big budget, but big budget placed in the wrong direction in terms of like
Yeah.
overly CGI'd and things. I don't think Daredevil's a character that calls for that specifically. So I would love for them to still play into the strengths from the previous show where. Uh, and it could also be, these actors are getting older. It's not as easy. It's very taxing on the body
Could
to
be
do a
that.
lot
Yeah.
of this choreography. It could be a little bit of that, but I do hope, once again, kind of like what you mentioned on the second episode, we saw a little bit of action more on the choreograph side of things, a little bit more raw. I just hope they continue to do that even at the larger scale. I'm not saying like, hey, I want zero CGI here. If done well, that can continue like, it doesn't need to break the immersion. It's just that first impression broke it a little bit. But like I said, at the end of the day, like the scene versus the drama and the implications for characters and things like that, I think all that other stuff was still very, very strong. So I'm no longer worried. I'm actually I'm in a position after these 2 episodes where I'm in for the ride. Like
Mhm.
I hope they don't break my trust, but I'm trusting them to actually keep this ride going. And I'm super stoked to see what comes next for a lot of the characters.
Okay, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, no, yeah. And so like I'm very invested into this show. I really much am. One of the things, key points that I did want to mention too, the suit is a little bit different here. And we'll talk about that more so in the spoilers and everything. But you know, I really, really enjoyed these first 2 episodes. They were very
Yeah.
entertaining. We see Wilson Fisk and his character kind
Yeah.
of I something I didn't know, and I was just like, oh man, something happened. And I love how they created that inner challenge within himself, because he
Yeah.
can't be, which, what, let's go ahead and just do it, because I keep like
Well,
walking on eggs, talking on eggshells. But one of the things I
well,
am going to say before we get into it is
yeah.
that I really enjoyed these first 2 episodes. They were really grand, and it felt a little bit like it felt like it was like a movie almost, where it was shot
Yeah.
certain cinematography. I was like, oh man, this looks like a movie on certain
Yeah. No.
shots. Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say before we get into spoilers as well, because like you said, it might be hard to talk about it. We did this on the weekend of the episode releasing. That way, a lot of people have enough time to see it before tuning into our show. But I'll say this, from the actor's perspective, everyone felt right back at home.
Yeah.
Especially, the main 2 leads, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin or Wilson Fisk. Just they felt right back at home.
Mhm.
They own that character. The presence and command. Once
Yeah.
again, they're at different stages of their life, and that was apparent. But it didn't feel like they missed a beat here, and so that is like, if those two can hold it together.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's other great characters here. Both from the past show and then new characters that were being introduced, but those
Yeah.
guys hold it together, just like the poster you were showing, right? Like they're clearly the ones selling this and
Yeah.
carrying on their shoulders. And so for that, I actually fully trust them to embody these
And
characters
I'll
100%.
even say, like, as well with the other characters as well, was Eldon Henson as well, and Deborah, and which played Karen and Foggy. So it felt like we had missed a beat. It really did. Granted, it did feel like, damn, it's been such a long time. You could kind of see it, but I was like, oh man, they look a lot. I mean, for me, from my perspective, they looked a lot better. I don't know. They look the same to me. It's movie magic or cinema magic, and they didn't. It felt like just Foggy lost a little bit more weight, which is always good, to get healthy and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I really enjoyed watching that, and I was like, damn, they really did good on really continuing from where they left off. I'll say that. But all right, guys, we're gonna talk about spoilers now. Let's talk about spoilers because it's very hard to talk about this show without talking about spoilers and everything. So we're gonna talk about spoiler thing is up, guys. It's this way. Oh, this way. It's up. All right, it is up. Okay, spoiler thing is up. Let's get right to it. One of the things I'm gonna say we have to talk about because that first scene we got was the episode opens up with a shocking event at Josie's bar. The famous Josie's bar, which we got from they always went to, especially that first season. By the way, guys, I did rewatch the first or all of the Netflix show. I think I was like 5 episodes away from finishing the last season, but I already watched it in the previous years. So I was like, I have to rewatch it all over again because I forgot what pretty much almost everything that happened. And so when I was just like, oh man, this is so good, so cool. It's nostalgia to the Netflix show. Like, hey, we went back to Josie's bar because I felt nostalgia in a way. It really did. And so they went back to Josie's bar, and then Foggy gets fucking murdered, and I was just like, damn it. And I kind of was hurt about that. I was like, they're gonna kill off somebody. I honestly thought they're gonna kill off Karen, but they killed off Foggy, Eldon Henson. And what did you think of that choice? Was it a good choice? Was it a bad choice? What did you think right off the bat? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't like that choice, especially because once again, based on the rumors and everything, the very first iteration of the show was not going to bring those characters back.
Yeah.
So to bring them back just to kill them, like I understand the like from a point of view, it was a motivation to kind of enact Matt's retirement as Daredevil, as he was ready to cross a line that he wouldn't have crossed before. But at the same time, like it feels a little cheap. Perhaps it continues to lead
like a cop out,
into different directions, but it's just, if I'm the actor and like I get the script and there's 2 lines and there wasn't 2 lines, there was more, but like if I see I'm only in 1 page and then they tell me they're bringing me back just to kill me after, once again, on the first one you weren't really involved. I don't know, like I don't know if I would have preferred for them to go their separate ways, but knowing that they're out there and maybe they pop in every now and then, I don't know, it's a little weird, it's a little conflicting. And then from not only Foggy's character as just being truly beloved, and he was a true friend, and sometimes the dynamics got quite complex with Matt's character, or with Charlie Cox's character Matt. What they did to Karen too, like she has been one of the characters that across the entire series has lost so much. She had her brother that she was framed for murdering. If I'm not mistaken, she first appeared in Jessica Jones, but I could be wrong.
No. She was in Daredevil. She was in Daredevil.
No, but wasn't she also in Jessica Jones?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's just she's been a character that's been through so much, not only in the dynamics with Matt, she has had a lot of losses. So for her best friend, someone that she truly loves, to be taken like that in front of her and for her to witness all that. I mean, I understand from her character, it also pivoted her to need to go to, as you can see on the fast forward of a year later, she's no longer in New York. She left that life behind. She's not in a good position with Matt. It just feels like we took 2 bullets there as the audience members, right? Like there was Foggy's death, and also once again another strain in the relationship with her and Matt, and also you start thinking of her character, like her character witnessing that just must be truly shocking and traumatizing to the system. It just felt like they were done dirty from that regard. We'll see. There's still more season to be seen. I find it a little weird that like the director or producer of the show, I forget, because they are talking that my understanding is that season 2 for this is in production.
Yes, it's very
They mentioned that they were going to continue to invest in these characters, and they mentioned that like both Karen and Foggy will be back. I'm sure that Foggy's situation will likely be on a flashback capacity, but we'll see. Perhaps the Karen character can continue to evolve in a way that maybe will make fans happy. It's just, once again, after that long, like you mentioned, Ryan, like 6 years, and that'd be the first thing that they do.
6.5 years,
we become, as audience members, protective to an extent of these characters, and we were excited to see them all be in a really good spot after the 3rd season. and then that happens. I don't know. It's yet to be seen. The last thing I'll say is that it's yet to be seen if there was intention behind it or if it was more for shock and awe. And if it was for more in shock and awe, I'll be a little bit disappointed if that's all that the reasoning was.
Like it was just to get people talking. Yeah. So one of the things I'm gonna say, one of the key components of the Netflix show, the reason why, not even looking the Daredevil side of it, but looking from the perspective of an audience member, was the fact that these two characters kept they had development, so much development. And that's the great thing about TV shows, is that you can have so much time to develop these characters, have them go through these trials and tribulations, whatever you want to say, and really exceed on those points. And Foggy and Karen became a character I loved. I loved them both because they kept Matt in his place. Because let's be honest here, Charlie Cox's character was very was very trying to be something that it was tough. He was trying to be Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and it was almost to a sense to where, who you gonna be? You can't beat the system and be this. You can't beat the system and you can't trust the system of justice and be the vigilante. So he very crossed hairs with himself, and I loved how Foggy just kept it going. That same Matt Murdock and Murdock and Foggy, and how their lawyer, how they start up with the firm and everything. And so I really appreciate their character arc in Netflix series. They made us love them. They made us just really grow attached to each of them, to Karen and Foggy. And so, but regardless, yes, Foggy is dead. As far as we know, you never know. They might say, oh, they never saw the body after he got shot. I mean, his heartbeat stopped, but you don't know. You don't know.
That's the thing that
you don't know.
It was certain.
Or
Matt has the ability to really,
or we get another Foggy from another universe. That's how we. I mean, come on, Marvel did it. It's their fault. No one really dies anymore. They don't really die anymore. They just go get another Foggy, dude. That's it, bro. They opened the multiverse, and now anything is possible. I will say that anything is possible in the multiverse. You as well as I do know that, and the Justice League and DC has done that plenty of times. Where like, oh, they brought back another Green Lantern. Okay, cool. And then so regardless though, I don't know, anything's possible here, but one of the things I'm going to say, man, I really enjoyed this character. And if you ever seen this kid actor in the Mighty Ducks, oh man, he was awesome in there as Mighty Ducks. I loved him. So to see him grow and to still be acting as still working as an adult at a Disney. I mean, obviously this is Disney, so I thought that was really paying homage to his career, how his career got started and everything. And so as a little kid, and so I really appreciate that. But yes, they did kill his character off, which we do not agree. I feel like if it was gonna happen, it should have happened. I know I would have hated it, but it should have happened like the very last episode of this season. I think that would have been good to really kill him, but have at the cliffhanger, just be like, boom, he's dead. And we don't know if he's dead or alive, and just have us wait another 6 years to find out if he's dead or alive. That also would be bad. But look, regardless, guys, put in the comments down below. Did you guys agree with Foggy and Karen's character arc? And then we got Karen at the episode 1, and we didn't get her, I don't think, in episode 2, but Karen seems not even like a major character anymore, which I'm kind of pissed off about.
I don't think she'll be recurring.
I'm pissed.
Perhaps she shows a couple more times.
Are you pissed about that, or is it just
like I said, it's just it put a strain on their relationship, and she's no longer in the picture from
I really wanted more Karen. I'm not gonna lie, because they kept Matt Murdock's her character itself kept Matt Murdock going and everything, and so kept his humanity in place. And then of course at the very end of that scene where Foggy is pronounced dead, or he can't hear him no more, Daredevil fucking kills that guy. He kills that guy. Yeah, he throws him off like he's gonna kill him. He intended to kill him, and And then, of course, but I mean, speaking of deaths, though, you think those cops are dead at the end of episode 2?
I think so. I think they.
So he's killing people now, which I love. You know what's funny is that a lot of moviegoers, they were upset because Batman was killing people in BVS. I was like, well, if you think about it, because what his character is based off, The Dark Knight Returns, Batman's tired of everyone's shit. He just fucking kills people. You do a crime, boom, you're dead. Like it just is what it is. Like it sucks, but hey, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That's all I'm saying. But
That's
I
not
just
crime.
what is that?
That's
Yeah, your time is ended. But anyways, it's
uh,
funny. It's funny
yeah,
to
I think
when
they
we see
are.
that. Yeah.
I
So
think they are the bald guy maybe, but he had to because he's the blind lawyer and he's basically revealing his like, or at least raising suspicion, and I
yeah,
think that's why he was saying like don't do this, please don't do this, and
yeah.
and the other guy like I did hear a neck snap, so I think he's a goner.
So one of the things I'm going to ask you, because I this is just from the creator side of it, because Foggy is dead and his morals and everything. I feel like his morals died when Foggy died. So here's my thing. My thing is that
Well,
because it killed off Foggy, that means I don't want to say he has an excuse, but Daredevil lost his humanity, if you will, because he believed that people could have a second chance. And I feel like now he actually believes what Frank Castle was trying to convince him all along, was that you put people, remember, you put people in the I put people in the grave, you put people back on the streets. You remember, like, oh man, that scene was
yeah.
so good. And so
I don't
yeah.
think that's where
What do
they're
you think?
going. I don't think so because he's not Daredevil. Like he retired because he knew that he crossed the line, even
Yeah,
though he Poindexter was still alive or Bullseye. Um, I don't think it's that he doesn't have his humanity or that his humanity died because he's chosen not to be Daredevil again.
yeah.
He knows he crossed the line, so he's still a very moral person. He's trying to help people through the judicial system as his
Do
work
the
as a
justice,
lawyer.
yeah.
You saw this when
But it's
he was
not
trying to
working. I'm just kidding.
when he was trying to help
Yeah,
Ayala, who is
yeah.
one of the characters that's deep in trouble this time around as the White Tiger vigilante. There's clearly
Yes.
some stuff
Oh
going
man.
down there. I don't think it's that. I think in this case he was left with no options, and before perhaps yes he would have taken the consequences without killing the. But he saw this was truly like for lack of a better word, like he was in a pickle, right? Like he the reason he was confident to show up to those cops as hey like the witness is gone, things like that, is because he didn't think that we're going to kill him. That would be stupid for
Yeah.
the cops to do, trying to first of all beat up a lawyer and then
And
to try
blind
to
guy.
kill him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he knew there was no option. Like because they're gonna ask questions if I leave him alive of like, hey, why is this blind guy doing this? Hey, you know what? The devil of Hell's Kitchen left, so it'll raise questions. I'm not saying it was right to do, but I do think, like you said, he's now more than ever in a position where he's willing to cross the line if absolutely necessary.
Mhm.
I just don't think it's like his morals left out the window.
Gotcha.
The yelling and expression towards that last scene of episode 2, he's
Mhm.
clearly frustrated at the situation. He was trying to leave that life behind. But we'll see where this goes. I'm actually excited. Like the mystery in itself, and we saw that cop had like the Punisher logo in here,
Yes, yes,
which is
on his, yeah.
yeah, it's a statement that I'm sure we know John Berthal is going to be in this season. I'm sure he's not going to be happy with
No,
corrupt
he's
cops
not.
like wearing that symbol, and so I'm excited to see where that narrative goes. I'm hoping next episode is the one where we see John Berthal, but
Me
I don't
too.
know if
Me
it'll
too.
be next. Yeah,
I hope the episode we do see John Berthal is going to be like an hour and like 20 minutes or something. Like it needs to be
yeah,
long. So we do. I know we keep going back and forth, but just to skim real quick, we did get the giant time jump. Yes, he has not been Daredevil for about a year. Something I did not know as well was that Karen actually was relocated to San Francisco,
yeah.
seeking distances from for obviously obvious reasons from the Foggy incident and everything. And then I feel like Wilson Fisk, something I did not know, which I thought that was very inventive. I was trying to think back with issues with Vanessa. So
Yeah.
I was trying to think back. I was like, was that even in the
No, I think
series?
that's
Yeah, no, right. So that happened. Yeah. So like that was the
in
time jump or the
yeah, and
yeah.
the injury that they keep referencing where he like
Is that in Echo or was that in
I think it was I think it was Echo. Well, it was at the end of Hawkeye where Echo
Hawkeye, right?
shot him.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, because I was all like, I remember because I complained and I was all like, what is he, superhuman? Like I was just like, what the heck? And
survive that. Yeah.
yeah, like how
Well,
can he? But
I personally didn't watch Echo. I don't
I
know
didn't
if
watch Echo either. Yeah,
if he's in it or if they show him like hurt during that season.
he's in it and he has like because I remember I saw images of him, so he is hurt in it. Or yeah,
Did he get like a glass eye or something?
Yeah, it was like some type of patch or something. I'll look it up right now, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he got hurt and everything in the
Like,
Echo
and the reason I
series.
ask is because when he got shot in Echo and then he shows up in Echo with an eye patch, that doesn't seem like he was out of commission for a long time. But the show is speaking of it as he
Yeah,
was
no,
out
he
of
had a
commission.
patch. He had look. Let me hang on. Let me
Yeah.
save it. I'll show it to you right now, guys. But
But
yeah,
that's why I'm a little confused. Unless once again, Nick, we can just accept the continuity and maybe there was another injury that they were talking about. But I thought it was that because they keep bringing up like he has a little bit of a scar in his eye and things like that. So, um, not too sure all exactly what they're talking about.
yeah, no, yeah. So like, it's not. They even made a Funko Pop of it.
Yeah,
Like it just looks very very weird. Hang on, I'm gonna bring this up, guys, real quick. Give me 1 second here. But yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It was um what do you call it? It was an injury, but it didn't make sense to me. But again, I don't know if they're just trying to um change things up. But here is the pop figure of it all. And so the injury he just sustained was a few episodes here. So we see the one right here, then we see this one right here. And so hang on 1 second. Let me do this one. This is probably the bigger image right there.
yeah,
So you see his eye. So I'm just like, is he superhuman? Like it didn't make any sense to me, but I don't know. Call me crazy, guys. I just again time lapse and everything. We don't know the time frame from it really because it's not really clear. But regardless, so the connection's there and everything. We know that. So his injury caused him to be distant with Vanessa, which didn't make sense to me because every time he was hurt, every time in the Netflix series, every time he was hurt, every time he would lose himself, be in prison, Vanessa, Vanessa. You don't speak her name. Don't speak her boobs. It's just like I love that. I love that. I'm not gonna lie, I did. And so to now be like, oh, we're distant now because I was vulnerable and like, what? You were vulnerable when you were in the Netflix show, when you were in prison. How can you? And you always relied on Vanessa. That's all you thought about was Vanessa and being the kingpin in the prison. Like it's just that's all you thought about. So that's why it just didn't make sense to me with his character. But whatever, Disney, whatever. All right,
yeah.
that was
We'll
episode
accept
two.
that. I mean, it gives us more
Yeah,
time with Vincent, so I
yeah,
do appreciate that. But yeah, I think they just use that as a threat. They needed to put a strain of like, hey, your life, you're not getting everything.
yeah.
You won the mayor, but you're not getting everything you want, and
I get it. Yeah,
that it's still it's an interesting dynamic for sure. I just wish the origin was a little bit clearer, but they did also mention she seems to have an affair with someone,
yeah. I saw that. Yeah,
and D'Onofrio, or I'm sorry, Kingpin knows. And so
it's with
that is
Daredevil.
also an interesting, it's also an interesting thing.
Did
But
you hear me?
we, what
I
is
said
it?
it's with
Daredevil?
Daredevil. I
No,
was just kidding.
but and we did see also in this episode how even though he's trying to leave that life of organized crime behind and the life of Kingpin, he was willing to threaten that or blackmail that police commissioner because
Yeah.
he needs the support of the police force and things like that. And so that was quite interesting, going back to his roots, not to the
Mhm.
extent of like, hey, I'm gonna kill them. At first I thought he was threatening his family, but it turns out it's a lost or
Mhm.
sorry, a
A
secret
lost son.
child.
A lost
A
son. Yeah.
secret child, yeah. So
A secret. Yeah.
it's more of with information, not saying, hey, I'm gonna
That
kill
will
him. He
corrupt
can't
him.
say that explicitly, but
Yeah.
the police commissioner obviously knows the
Mhm.
extent of Kingpin's threats. So
And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that going back to switching the shift over to White Tiger. First and foremost, rest in peace to the actor that played that.
yep,
Yeah, he was the first ever MCU Puerto Rican superhero to really
yeah.
on a live action perspective and everything. So
Camaro de los Reyes, and you saw the nice message, dedicated.
yeah,
The episode was dedicated to him.
dude, that
Um,
he. I mean, I haven't even seen him in the suit yet, and I could like, or we saw him first glance up with the camera shots. Holy cow, that suit looks good. It looks
yeah,
really good. I'm so bummed about it. But if they do based off the comics, it does seem like they're hinting that because he does in the comic book, he does die in prison, right? Is that correct?
I don't know.
I
I
I'm,
don't.
I
I don't
think
think
he
so.
I think he dies in prison in the comic book if I'm not mistaken. Call me crazy, but um, and so that because if you notice, he doesn't have the amulet, which is the amulet gives him
Yeah,
powers, right? So it gives him the super strength, it gives him all that stuff. So we see that investigate for we see Matt really uncovers the system, the cover up the corruption of Hell's Kitchen, or not Hell's Kitchen, of New York City now, because now they're not in Hell's Kitchen no more. But we actually see Wilson Fisk kind of play the system a little bit, but at the same time, he has to understand he cannot control he has to control his anger, because he can't be like the same kingpin that he once was. And so we see that him, like you already mentioned, we see him really bribe the police commissioner, to not quit because of the fact that I found your hidden secret and you couldn't keep him away. Like, I already know who it is. And we see how White Tiger really was inspired by Daredevil, because Daredevil was no longer around. They needed a hero to come in and really step in and really to fill the void that Daredevil left, because there was crime everywhere. There's still crime everywhere. They're hinting that there's crime everywhere. It's like Gotham City all over again. And so it feels like that in a lot of sense. And we see really Matt go up to the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, and when I want to say it was wrapped during an event, and they went to go have this diner scene, and I thought it was really good. I really liked that diner scene. It was pretty good. I love the dialogue that was discussed between them two, so I really enjoyed that. At the same time, though, we actually get a sense at the very end of the episode, we actually get a sense to where Fisk and Vanessa are having marital problems, and they're actually having therapy by the person that Matt Murdock is actually seeing. So that was very interesting. I was like, oh, it's all coming together. And go ahead.
Sorry. One thing that was interesting to me too is they didn't explicitly tell us this on this episode, but you know how there was that kid that also went to the book signing, and he was saying he needs help from the therapist, right? Like Matt Murdock's current girlfriend or whatnot. And she was like, hey, maybe I can shift something on my schedule, but I wonder if Wilson Fisk meeting with her takes priority, and she was no longer able to help out that kid that seemed to be a little troubled, the kid that showed up to the book signing. So it was him that got his book signed, and then shortly after the book signing was the assistant or whatever of Kingpin.
Okay.
I'm interested. I have some thought. Well, is this spoiler talk or no?
Yeah. It's spoiler talk. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that actor is going to be involved. The kid that was troubled, I think he's going to be involved in the rest of the season. And I think he might be playing one of the main villains. So I wonder if that's a whole catalyst there of like he really needed some help and talk to but now because Wilson Fisk took priority on her client list, I wonder if that's going to be a catalyst for that character really starting to emerge. I don't know. That's just I haven't seen the next episodes or anything like that, but I found that a bit interesting. I was like, oh, she probably forgot about that kid that maybe really needed some help. I mean, I'm not saying Wilson Fisk and his wife don't, but like, still, like it's kind of crazy.
It's interesting. It gives an interesting dynamic there, and I really enjoyed that a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, these 2 episodes we got out of here, I really enjoyed it. It's not as great as the Netflix series yet, but it's only the first 2 episodes.
We'll see.
But besides, Disney's track record, we have to acknowledge this because it's made by Disney. They've always they always really hit us with these 2 strong episodes. And then it just goes downhill from there. But I hope it doesn't happen like that. I hope we see John Berthal really come in and just fuck shit up and just really show those cops and so you can't take my symbol. And so and stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see where the character dynamic goes from there, and really interested to see as well if Daredevil. I wonder if we're going to get a new suit, because we saw multiple suits, right? I really hope that something happens with this suit or something where we get a new suit at the end of the season.
I've been wanting.
Because we did get it already, right? Beginning of this episode, kinda.
But no, I've been wanting a suit that is more closely resembling
to the comic book,
the comics. Yeah, I don't know why they do this so much, but like they avoid using the logo. I
don't know why. Just put it, right? That's all I'm saying.
I recently just grab a cosplay with a pretty cool like suit. Yeah, I'd be happy if they just go with that suit.
Just grab the Ben Affleck one and just put it on him. That's all I'm saying. We'll see the difference.
No, not the super.
Or like call it. Oh my god! So Bullseye, it was funny. So me and Lex were talking about this, and it was like Bullseye. Remember Bullseye? Remember he would always touch his forehead. He would be like, "Oh yeah, Like it was Colin Farrell, just it was so funny, man. I was just like, damn, that was the character, the villain, the cheesy villain that would just play that character. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But
I was
yeah,
excited too for maybe the Bullseye comic book accurate logo, but it
we'll
didn't
see.
happen.
We'll see. I mean, it's still early on. That's what I'm saying. It's still early on. Anything can happen. Anything's possible here, and I'm excited to see what other characters we're gonna see out of here, and maybe even, yeah. So this definitely these episodes set a darker tone for it, which I really wanted,
Yeah.
and it really keeps the series exploring and keeping that seriousness really into the whole story itself, and it really shows us the how complex or how uh the justice system kind of works and it kind of doesn't. And so I'm interested to see, knowing that Matt Murdock, I really want to see more lawyery Matt Murdock, or like
Yeah.
more lawyer tactics of him, and to really see something else, like maybe that we didn't see the previous seasons, and just have him, you know, not do it every night, but kind of like be more focused on the lawyership of it, side of him, Matt Murdock side of him,
Yeah.
to really win this case for the White Tiger. But who knows? Maybe we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds and everything, guys. But rating, when you give rating, Lex, and we'll end the episode right here. So rating 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest.
For the 2 episodes or each
Yeah,
episode?
no, for the two, just do one rating for the two. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a solid. I'm gonna do a solid 7.
7. I feel good about overall for the debut. I think like 8.5 for me.
Okay.
It's got me excited once again. Less worried. I'm ready to go on the ride. I'm just hoping they don't betray our trust. But I've heard from the reviewers that have gotten a chance to watch a
All of
little
them.
bit past of what we've seen. I think we're in good hands. So I'm really excited. I think Disney knew, the investment in this, and especially with the whole rewrite and stuff. So they wanted to get it right. So I'm hoping they continue to do that, and we'll see. We'll see if more of those Marvel shows start coming back. I think they're thinking of a Punisher one. I don't know if it's confirmed, but that would be really awesome
So
as well.
yeah, so to touch up on that, they're trying to do. So I think John Berthal said he would co-write it, but it's not a series. Sadly, I did see it's almost going to be like Night Wolf, so it's like its own special.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
like an hour and a half, which is sad because I'm just like, damn, I really want him to have his own series, because I rewatched the Punisher series, the Netflix series. It's so good. Like
Yeah.
it was as good as the Daredevil one. Like
Yeah.
and it really focused on something that, like, I mean, John Berthal made us fall in love with him in the
Yeah.
Netflix series, and I was just like, damn, like he's just a fantastic, amazing guy. By the way, we met him at Fan Expo. No homo, I ran into him in the restroom, and I was just like, oh shit, you're John Berthal. He's like, what's up, dude? Like he was so friendly, and he would, yeah, I am. What's up, man? Like I said, I know. Like I was just like, can I shake your hand? And it was like, he's like, yeah, no problem, man. So he's
Let
just
him wash his hands first, bro.
Bro, okay, the hands already washed, it was just wet, but I was just like, damn, this amazing. I love all his movies that he's pretty much in, and I can't wait to see him in The Accountant too. So
Yeah.
he really is like just the actor that really embodies like the craziness side, but being such a nice guy. He really, it's usually the nice people that are really nice in public, or like their personalities are really nice. They play such evil people. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like it's just, I mean, come on, Emilia Clarke. She's such the nicest person ever. I've heard so many great stories of her, but yet she played like at the end, just they play these evil people. Heath Ledger, same way. Like I heard
Yeah.
before he passed, and he was such a nice guy. He would love to take pictures of everybody, and he became, the villain that still haunts people to this day, that talks about it to this day. So they live on. But anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much for making this a part of your day. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. And do not forget, guys, we got more movie reviews coming out later. That we got another one probably coming out this weekend. We'll probably start that up Monday. This coming week, we got 3 movie reviews coming out, guys. So stay tuned for that as well. And be sure to check out too. We'll probably do an theater reaction. Lex will probably do one for Novocaine coming out. We got the screening coming up this Monday. So a lot of movies coming out, guys, and stay tuned for more content. And we'll be at Fan Expo very, very soon. Before we know it, it'll be here. So hopefully it gets here pretty quick, and I'm ready for summer and everything. So not ready for the heat of Texas heat, 100-degree weather, but it's actually, it'll be nice to see some nice, good sunshine and everything. No more gloomy weather. But
Yep.
all right, guys, thank you so much once again. Have a good one. I'm Ryan D, aka Ryan 680.
This was Lex. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
Have a good one, guys, and see you at the movies.